the end of the dinner, it went late, and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car, because that would have been bad.
Yes, the guy that picks up dead bears from the side of the road is back in the news again, and shockingly, it's for doing something dumb. Unlike putting a roadkill bear in your car, that is perfectly normal. At least it's normal if, I don't know, a worm ate part of your brain.
The doctor said it could have been caused by a worm that got into my brain and ate a portion of it and then died.
Unbelievable. Do you ever wonder if we're like living in a simulation and this is all just a joke being played on us? I mean, come on. Did we really put the roadkill eating dead worm in the brain guy in charge of health and human services? Seems like he'd be more qualified for the U.S. Forest Service, given all of his animal experience, but no. RFK Jr. is the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the leader of the MAHA movement, which is not Hawaiian food. It stands for Make America Healthy Again. And speaking of jokes being played on us, the MAHA world just had a joke go right over their worm-infested heads. And much like that worm, we're going to dig into it all right after you hit subscribe to Really American Media and help support the resistance that is going on here 24/7. All right, so RFK Jr., like a lot of MAGA types, has a hard time making his case using facts because it is so annoying when the facts don't fit into your agenda. So, the guy with a long history of pushing false medical information, like the safety of vaccines, has had a bit of a rough start to his new job.
Secretary Kennedy, you're listed as the chair of the commission. Did you read the report and fact-check its sources prior to publication?
All of the factual
Did you read
sources-
the reports, and did you yourself fact-check them, sir?
I did not fact check.
You did not fact-check. So why then, as has
All of
been
the
widely
foundational
reported, excuse me, sir, I'm
assertions
speaking. Why then did the report include a citation to sources that don't even exist? How does that happen under your leadership, sir?
Yeah, remember, we're all entitled to our own opinions. We're just not entitled to our own facts. So after that public flogging, RFK Jr. and the MAHA movement were desperate for a win. So Bobby Jr. has been touting something less controversial, the benefits of beef tallow. What is beef tallow, you ask? Well, I'm glad that you asked, because I was too embarrassed to admit that I don't know what the hell beef tallow is, but I'm skeptical of anything being pushed by this nature lover.
RFK Jr. advocating for it pretty aggressively. They even had a whole slogan for it: make frying oil tallow again. Okay, not the catchiest thing I've ever heard, but yeah, they were trying to push it. They had merch with that sentence on it, and RFK Jr. always seems to be pushing the tallow fries. He even had a photo op or a video op in a fast food joint with tallow fries. They were trying to promote it heavily. Tallow is essentially beef fat from cows that is cut off organs and rendered. So it's melted to purify, and then it's cooled down to allow it to solidify again.
All right, YouTube Dr. Guy, thanks for explaining all of that. And it does seem that the shame of the Kennedy family really loves this stuff. He even fried a whole turkey in tallow for Thanksgiving.
So this is how we cook the Maha way. This is beef tallow fat. Look at this. This is the dangerous part. Put it in very slowly.
All right, so we've established he loves beef tallow and that he's desperate for a Maha win, and that his boss, Don Cheeto, also needs a win to distract everyone right now from a certain pedophile friend of his. Which is why the White House issued a press release yesterday touting changes that food companies are making to appease this Maha movement. Examples you want? Okay. How about the fact that they're removing certain types of food dyes after the FDA announced that they would be phasing them out? That part is true. But in an attempt to hand RFK a win and make him look a little less crazy, they highlighted the fact that In-N-Out Burger has said that they are moving away from seed-based oils and will instead use 100% beef tallow. And that right there is a huge win for little Robbie Kennedy. And of course, the White House proudly cited their source for this news, that In-N-Out Burger would be switching to all beef tallow, with this tweet that was sent out saying, quote, "It's official. In-N-Out will be transitioning to 100% pure beef tallow. The change is set to become effective May 1st, 2025 at all In-N-Out locations." So that's that, right? Unless you look a little closer, you might first notice the word fan next to In-N-Out Burger, which would indicate this is a fan page, not the real In-N-Out page. Or, I don't know, maybe you noticed the much more obvious problem here. The fact that this tweet was sent out on April 1st. Yeah, April Fool's Day. And yes, our federal government just fell for an April Fool's joke in July and then touted it as a fact.
Awkward.
Yeah, that's awkward or just incompetent. Now, first of all, the fan page outed themselves back on April 1st by adding this rather obvious admission that it was all a joke. Or, I mean, I don't know, God forbid our government take a few minutes to call In-N-Out to confirm that, like a reporter for The Independent did, at which point their COO told them, quote, information was recently published in error stating that In-N-Out Burger has transitioned to beef tallow for cooking French fries. We continue to work on an upgrade to our current sunflower oil. However, we have not yet made a change, end quote.
Now it's awkward because of what you said. Anyway.
Yeah, nice job, In-N-Out Burger. Way to make it awkward for the dead bear worm-infested brain guy. And at this point, I assume the White House just calmly acknowledged, hey, they fell for an April Fool's joke. No big deal. We've all done it. No, not this administration. They blame the media for it. White House propaganda puppet Kush Desai said, quote, the media's obsession with covering anything but the facts, like how the Trump administration is working with companies, including In-N-Out, to remove artificial ingredients from our food supply is exactly why public trust has blah, 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 dropped to record lows. Okay, this is so annoying. And it's that lack of self-awareness that has put us all in the position of electing a king that lies constantly, has created a world where facts don't matter, and has made a fool out of all of us, whether it's April or not. Please like this story, comment below, and get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, I'm Steve Harness, and I'll take a number 2 combo for Really American Media.